Welcome back everybody to the channel, and welcome also to the 2v2 League. Today we got another debut match. This is the team Can't Handle My Cruise Missile. You like that, don't you? It's going to be Catharsis and Garmlator, which I think is going to be insanely stacked. And their opponent are going to be these guys. So, no shout out to the corporate sponsor today, I'm sorry. But anyway, the map is going to be the Shallows. And this is definitely, you know, the most aggressive map, I think, in the 2v2 pool. We were just talking about it earlier on Discord, and Rompafrolic was saying, like, what the heck, do I even have a third base? Or no, I think maybe it was Kitsune. Because probably Rompafrolic expanded to here instead of to here. But, I mean, really look at this, you know, like, this one up here. This one right here. I feel like this one's a lot more explosive. But that's alright, that doesn't really matter. I am really excited for this match because Catharsis and Garmlator are both very, excellent players. I hope you all have seen the finals of Kara Cup number 5. They were pretty insane. I was very pleased by that. And that was Catharsis, of course, playing against Descara. Garmlator has beaten Descara before as well. He's been either a finalist or the victor of every tournament that he's played in, I believe. In fact, I'm not sure if he lost one yet. I think he did. But the point is, he's really good, alright? So this team here is going to be very stacked. And so, I'm gonna just suggest that they're probably going to win this game here, but what's really going to be exciting is to see in what fashion they choose to do it. Garmlator just kind of trying to do some little scouting. He is going to see that the production cruiser from Rompafrolic is moving forward, and that's a move that I support from Rompafrolic, essentially, because I feel like you can be very aggressive in this game, but I'd like to see Kitsune also moving out with AAVs with him. Just because we know that LAVs will probably steamroll these Sand Skimmers if they come out, especially against Garmlator. He's the player who goes with the LAVs in the early game, and you can see him making them right there. I do notice that Kitsune beginning to make some of those of his own, so that is good. They can take center control, but it's going to have to take a lot of good micro from them. Catharsis getting ready with his blast drones. I think we've all seen that has been quite effective so far. So I'm sure we all trust him to use those pretty well. Let me just give the carriers groups here real quick. There is a fight going on out here in mid, and it looks like it's actually going these guys' way. They have taken out one... no, that was the turret. No, the turret does go down. So they took out one LAV. Oh, you don't want to move in there. There's a turret up now. Probably going to claim the life of that Sand Skimmer. Maybe even this one, too. Oh, he gets out. What a hero. This guy wasn't so lucky. Probably should use Base Runner Heal, try to make a stand here against the LAV status production. Yep, there he goes with the Base Runner Heal right there. But this is going to be a little tricky. It looks like Garmlator's beginning to take middle control. He's going to take out another Sand Skimmer right there, and that one turret makes so much of an impact. He's so good with those turret placements. Here come the LAVs from Kitsune, and that should repulse this rather effectively, I would have thought. Garmlator, what is he going for tech-wise? Nothing just yet. And I hear smoke from the Conif Base Runner. Actually, what? That must have been a misclick right there. Yeah, these Base Runners kind of getting chewed up right here. I'd like it if the LAVs stuck with the Sand Skimmers. If they kind of move out in two separate packs, Garmlator can really take advantage of... Yeah, I mean, he can take a numbers advantage even though he doesn't have as many LAVs. It's kind of like, that'd be a little silly. And indeed, we do see another Sand Skimmer go down. It looks like he will lose an LAV for this. No, perhaps not. I think he's actually going to get out of that. Still, not a unit lost, I don't believe, for Garmlator. Okay, actually, yeah, he did lose that one LAV right there next to the turret. Well, this is going to be problematic, though. We see the blast drones from Kitsune, and actually, it looks like if he'd moved out just a little bit earlier, he could have gotten a pretty meaty hit over there, but he probably still would get some good value out of this. His Base Runner, meanwhile, wishing it had that smoke now, but that's not going to matter too much. He will score. He probably just will lose. Oh, wait. He might not. No, I think he will. He's got to score here. He will lose the Base Runner for that, but that's probably worth it. And of course, that scanner giving very valuable information to Rompafrolic. I like that placement because it told him, hey, there are blast drones here, I better get back to base. Otherwise, he might have been over here fighting that Base Runner. Things could have gotten very bad indeed. Catharsis is going for refinery mode. Garmlator already has his support cruiser out. What the economy is looking like on the other side. No refinery mode in sight over here. One support cruiser. No, no. Okay, Kitsune producing now 2 support cruisers, but until then he had not begun that. Catharsis could potentially get like some nice hits with the blast drones if Rompafrolic kind of falls asleep over there, but I wouldn't expect anything. This massive LAVs looks rather dangerous, but there are assault ships in the area. That's not going to be a problem for Catharsis. And Garmulator just slowly encroaching up the field with his turrets. That's what he loves to do, and in fact this assault railgun here probably not going to be very useful because of that. LAV's taking a couple hits there from the assault ship, but nothing big. And they're going to run over these sand skimmers, I would have thought. Turret is firing. Takes out another sand skimmer. Looks like both players is kind of vying for control of the center, but it seems to be going the way of Can't Handle My Cruise Missile, which is reflected by the fact that they have scored, the other team has not, despite having 2 artifacts in their hands. And I thought Kitsune was making 2 support cruisers, but perhaps that was a bug with the replay viewer. He is going for battlecruiser fabrication, though. I gotta say, I'm not totally sure what that choice is for. It's gonna take so long to get battlecruisers out. I'd like it if he went to railguns first, especially as these AAVs are not really gonna cut it particularly well against the assault ships. And now it looks like Garmulator taking this opportunity to try to poke in. But yeah, I didn't think that was very well advised. He is taking pretty effective trades here, but he is gonna fall back. And actually, that didn't look so good right at the end there, so a little unfortunate for him. But yeah, these assault ships are able to hold off against these AAVs. Battlecruisers, obviously, they are an answer to assault ships, but I mean, that's just going to take so long to get out there. I do like the ALM, the stun locking them, and actually now something really good could happen. I need to be pushing forward these AAVs, but I think he could get an assault ship kill at least. He's shooting from that turret again. Yeah, Rumpelfrolic trying to push out onto this position, but not going to have any luck with that one. The base runner spam begins, as I can see. And now it's interceptors out for Catharsis. He'd love to use them over here, but of course he can't really with those LAVs, but these railguns here looking rather exposed. And the blast drones came in for Catharsis, but they couldn't find any value, so they're going to back away. They may be planning on hitting this area, but there is an AAV right there. One assault ship did go down. AAV's very wounded, but that'll be okay. Looks like the interceptors have found the support cruisers. Anti-air on the way is the question. No anti-air in sight. This would definitely be something good to click on. Okay, well he does have the LAVs right here though. But is that support cruiser going to go down? This could be huge. I think it is. And only for the cost of about 1 interceptor. So that's a pretty big hit to Kitsune right there. He is now getting support cruiser anti-air. That's very good. He needs to begin producing those. Battlecruiser fabrication is finished. And once battlecruisers come out on the field, he can definitely take control of this area right here, but if there's too many air units for Catharsis, you know, air is a pretty good counter to battlecruisers, and indeed there are several of those. He could also click up the siege cruiser fabrication, which is also typically a very good response to battlecruisers. Oh, look at that targeting jammer. Actually, it looks like they're definitely going for some kind of an attack here on this middle area. They took out 1 turret already. Assault railguns firing down the second of the sand skimmers, trying to take a fight with the LAVs. I like the targeting jammer. It allows them to, you know, come in there before, so he should definitely clear out the turret now while he has the chance. But now Garmulator are going to come in with his carrier, and this is what he tends to do. And he does have railgun fabrication. He hasn't begun producing any of those yet, but I'm sure he will. But yeah, it's really important that they clear out this turret before the targeting jammer goes down. And they have done that. But losing a couple railguns over on that side is Rumpelfrolic. And his army is looking rather fragile. He does have refinery mode. Of course, he is on 2 bases now. But it looks like Can't Handle My Cruise Missile on 2.5. They definitely have the eco lead. But, you know, good denial of air power over on that side by Kitsune. His turret taking damage as well, so the siege, I guess, on the middle is going pretty well in terms of, like, map control, almost. But they have taken a lot of losses doing it, and as a result, you know, this carrier being here basically just repels that entirely. They can't, you know, they can't maintain that presence in the middle because of how many units they had to lose. And Garmulator, I'd like to point out, is on power reserve 3. I don't know about his opponents. Certainly less. And pretty soon, you know, that means he's going to be using cruise missiles, and that's the name of the team, you know, like, we already know that Garmulator loves his cruise missiles, but if the name of the team is Can't Handle My Cruise Missile, you know, yeah. you know what's coming. This one sand skimmer here gonna wish he did not have this job, but he goes down instantly. Targeting Jam gonna get taken out as well. That doesn't really matter. It did its job already. Targeting Jams are really interesting. But there are 2 missile batteries up here for Romper Frolic. I hope Catharsis knows it. He knows. He's gonna pull back. He's very on top of his air control. Never really lets those guys get out of position. Looking for openings there, but not really finding many. But Garmulator beginning to produce railguns. This is typically the point in the game, whether in a 1v1 or in, you know, a 2v2 like this. This is the point of the game where he begins becoming really dangerous, and he can basically single-handedly take you out. Just using his carrier, a bunch of railguns, etc. The interceptors are taking fire from the LAVs, but not really anything significant. And this blob of LAVs beginning to look very, very big. I'm not sure what Romper Frolic has to deal with this. If he tries to use his carrier, of course, the railgun's going to hit him down. And indeed, damage going to get dumped on him by these interceptors as well. Maybe they've reconsidered. Battlecruiser is out on the field, but already taking a significant amount of damage, as you can see. This is why I was worried that he was going for Battlecruiser tech. I think it was just too early. Base Runners doing their best to heal. I like that. But this Battlecruiser, how much health? Oh man, it's very, very low health right here. It is going to survive, but narrowly. And it'll be fine because the 4 cruisers have the anti-air as well, so it has anti-air with it now, but still, that's an egregious amount of damage to have taken that quickly, you know what I mean? Definitely, we can say Catharsis was ready for that one. And he's going for Railgun Fabrication now. That looks like a game-finishing move, as well as Siege Cruiser Fabrication is already finished. Oh, sorry, I thought he was Galaxine for a second. Siege is not the counter to Battlecruisers in this case, but they're still going to be really good. He has the air to deal with that. He's going for Railgun Fabrication. Definitely looks like Can't Handle My Cruise Missile. Planning on finishing this game out. We do see Power Reserve 5 finishing, and I would assume right after Power Reserve 5 is finished, we're going to see them move out and just take the field. They've had total control this whole time. Not been able to extract very much because, of course, extraction on this map incredibly difficult, but they have definitely had the control over the field this whole time. And Garmulator looking as dangerous as ever. Catharsis now triple producing railguns. He's got siege cruisers coming out. There are battle cruisers here, so the counter for them is on the map, but, you know, those barrages, they can do well. Can't touch him when he's barraging, and when these railguns come out, he'll be fine. His air won't be able to be used as long as the support cruisers stay with the battle cruisers, but I don't think it'll be needed. And, well, the battle cruisers counter some units that are on the map, like these railguns here, these siege cruisers here. I really feel they're not going to have the opportunity for that. There's just going to be too many rails on the map for these battle cruisers to really feel very useful. I do like the ALM stunning right here, but it's not hitting the siege cruisers, which is kind of important. And I think these guys kind of sense that their control over the map is beginning to slip. They're trying to move out here, get some counterplay going. I like that move. That's definitely what they need to do. I'm just not sure if it's going to work. Cruise missile coming out now for Garmulator. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a miss, except these units are moving into it. Oh, you don't want to be there. And actually, the railguns get taken out as well, because, you know, cruise missiles. Romper Frolic going to be tilted, and really there is nothing to stop Garmulator from just pushing in here. I'm not sure if he realizes that, but he probably could just run in there and win. This battlecruiser's moved a little too far away from the anti-air. It's going to get taken out very quickly. And this carrier from Kitsune, very low health. That's the Saban carrier for you. It doesn't really do too much in the way of, you know, actual combat. He is going to get a siege cruiser for his troubles. That'll be nice. But he is definitely getting taking a lot of damage. Definitely a lot more than he would have wanted to by these air units. Okay, so the missiles come in now from the siege cruiser. They take out one interceptor. That's not bad. Battlecruiser is going to smoke, but I don't think that matters. Smoke, of course, does not obstruct air units. LAVs are in position to deal with the sand skimmers, and if you look at the upgrades, actually the upgrade's rather behind for Garmulator, so I suppose these sand skimmers could maybe take a fight there, but with the carrier being so close, probably that would not go well. And, you know, it seems right now like kind of two 1v1s going on, but you gotta remember Garmulator has the very powerful cruise missile that he can launch over here if his opponent is in a position to kill or in danger or whatever. I definitely think Can't Handle My Cruise Missile, it's kind of a difficult name, is definitely in a very good position to win this game. It'd be quite a throw if they were to lose now. Honestly, like, Catharsis can sack he can sack an interceptor to, like, take out this battlecruiser too. That would be totally fine. Probably doesn't know that though, so. The strength behind Garmulator's strategy here really just comes from the fact, oh look at that, the Gaussian Missile Barrage is actually doing a lot of damage. That's quite effective. Suddenly it looks like he could push back Rompafrolic. I'm not sure if that'll last for very long, but he can push back. But he needs to be careful not to overextend. It's one bad engagement and the cruise missile can finish him off, but he's doing a lot of damage to this carrier. Cruise missile going to get launched right here. It's going to be a good hit on the Gaussian carrier, take it down quite low, and the interceptor's coming in also to handle the anti-air. Kitsune, meanwhile, not really doing too much, not really very proactive. I think that's going to be a big issue right here, and I think Rompafrolic will go down, but Garmulator might follow him if he's not careful. Definitely his carrier is at lower health than he would have hoped. And the base runner heal, buying a little bit of time now for Rompafrolic. It could be possible that Garmulator's carrier goes down here if he overextends. He's not going to. He knows what he's doing, powering up the armor, but he is very low. He's very low indeed. The fight is now going on over here as well. Battlecruisers are going to get taken out by these siege cruisers. The other one there, very low, but it's too far back to really get hit. I love that move right there. There are railguns in the area, but I don't think they know that this is here. I don't think they have vision on it, but the cruise missile is going to take it out. Excellent cruise missiling there by... Oh, it didn't quite get it, but I'm sure one more cruise missile and he will be finished. Another siege cruiser goes down, and suddenly it's looking like Can't Handle My Cruise Missile losing control of the middle here. Oh, but Kitsune with his carrier, once again, way too far forward. And that missile spam from the Con-F is real. I think this carrier has to go down now. He can even launch interceptors if it's going to make it out. You gotta be really careful with that Saban carrier. It cannot really do too much in combat. And there's a lot of risk, of course, for being out there so far. This battlecruiser's still alive. Look at this. This is incredible. Another siege cruiser goes down, I think that was. And I think Kitsune is going to make it out of there. I really can't believe it. I thought that was him over for sure. And these railguns getting hit by the missiles. You know what? These guys making kind of a comeback here, actually. It's still very messy. It's still not at all clear who's going to win, like that they're going to be able to win this, but they're making a comeback. They really are. Wow. Carrier's on very low health, though, especially this one right here. It could still get taken out just by some nice cruise missile hits. He needs to keep backing up, I think. He needs to back up and get healed as fast as possible. And of course, it seems counterintuitive, but railguns actually are a very good counter to Saban battlecruisers because for some reason these things have less damage output than the equivalent number of railguns. So it's very easy to lose that fight. Cruise missile hits the carrier again and it's low. And the base runners heal way too early. They're really only healing themselves there. He's selfish. Anyway, Rompafrolic going to try to speed out of there, but he does not have enough power in that system. Oh dear, Rompafrolic, you got to put the power in the speed. Okay, he's gonna put it in healing. Oh, he's taking it out of speed here. The problem is that if Garmulator is allowed to follow him, he's definitely going to go down. Looks like that will be the case. There's no saving this carrier now. And the army from Rompafrolic also notably missing. It's really going to be only up to Kitsune now and his carrier already at very low health. I shouldn't have doubted them. I knew they would come out on top. Support cruise is getting taken out by these cruise missiles. Excellent move right there. Catharsis definitely knows what he's doing, you know what I mean? He's a very competent player, I gotta say. And frankly, I think he can take this fight on his own. But Garmulator is going to come in and just clean up shop as well. Only a matter of time before he's ready to move out. Another battlecruiser is going to go down right here. And these railguns are beginning to get quite the veterancy, and that actually does somewhat matter. 10% damage to armor, you know what I mean? More battlecruisers popping out on the field here, but this one's probably just going to get killed instantly. And just look at the health on the carrier. Getting re-healed very quickly by these support cruisers, but just not quickly enough, I don't think. He's gonna try to run in this direction, but he's gonna meet, you know, Garmulator, of course. The Sand Skimmers, I'd like to point out as well, as if that weren't enough, they have completely cleaned out the eco. And they can actually swing up here. This would probably be where I would move. Well, actually, these support cruisers are very vulnerable too, aren't they? They've got a lot of options. Actually, almost taken quite a bad hit from his own siege cruiser there. That would have been kind of funny. Look how many chips of power Garmlader has available to him. Cruise missile getting launched, I can only imagine it's right there. Yep. And not only that, but it will be a cruise missile that finishes out the game. Garmlader with both carrier kills, with both of these players playing exceptionally. There was actually a moment where it looked like these guys might be able to come back, but it was short-lived. I think really, you know, Continental my cruise missile was in a dominant position pretty much the whole game. And I would have liked to see them commit maybe just a little bit more to certain engagements, but playing it safe obviously was not a bad choice for them in this case either. Really, I think one of the big lessons we can learn from this, the Saban carrier should not be in the front, it should be in the back, because indirectly it can help with like the ALMs and stuff, but you usually don't get many power reserves for it, because why would you, unless you're going for the microwave emitter. They don't really help you at all. Of course, the weapons on that carrier are literally trash, like everyone knows that. So if you're having to power up the armor, you're not going to have much, and you can't be powering up the ALMs. If you're back here, you can have all your power in those armed logistics modules, deploy them on the field as necessary to stay away from danger. And, you know, certainly it kind of sucks to not have a carrier, essentially, in one of these fights, but better than not having it because it gets killed, you know what I'm saying? So, excellent win for Continental my cruise missile, and this is honestly a really stacked team right here. So, I'm excited to see what they can do later on in this league. I hope Gold Chiefs will be able to challenge them pretty soon. I want to see them play against the other teams as well. But that was a lot of fun. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Important amendment. We clearly saw in the game that Garmlader's cruise missile landed on the carrier and killed it, yet interestingly that kill was given to Catharsis. So I guess he's the real MVP. Just thought you'd like to know.